Spit on it.
Yeah, so if I'm videotaping you shooting my gun, is that like the gun version of cucking?
I think so.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Mid-Tier Thoughts. Today we're doing a quick, super quick, down and dirty review of my favorite pistol so far this year. This is the FN 2022 High Power. So this one is the newest iteration of the High Power. It's basically aesthetically the older model that we're probably all familiar with, the Browning High Power, but it is very different as far as how it is internally, as well as its takedown. It's a lot more simplified. I can't necessarily show you how to take it down on this video because YouTube will slap my hand on that, but I'll probably want to make it short to showing it how it takes down differently from a normal high power. But we're going to do a quick little brief history of this and then dive into some range footage that I have of us having a great time on range shooting this pistol. So first off, this thing is a double stack 17 round 9mm. It is single action only, so I have to pull the first off. Weapon is clear, right? We're all seeing that. There is no ammo anywhere in the gun. Send that forward. That is a single action only, so you have to pull the trigger for the hammer to drop. It has to reset for that to work again. So, real quick, I should probably cover how I got this. So, this is not a paid for review. This is not a, hey, I was sitting at this gun, talk good about this. How I got this gun is I used to work at a gun shop. So when you work at a gun shop, a lot of people don't know this, but there are spiff programs, rewards programs, and if you're in the gun industry and you aren't hooked into one of these and you want to be, let me know and I'll give you some of the websites to go to look this up. But this is a gun which basically the way these programs work, you sell enough of their stuff throughout the year, you get points, they have like a point system for like every gun you sell is worth X amount of points, and then towards the end of the year you can redeem those points for free stuff, swag, t-shirts, pocket knives, whatever. Sometimes if you don't have enough points, you can get a gun. I was fortunate enough one year to be able to have enough points to redeem this, and I haven't really had a whole lot of chance to shoot it yet, but unfortunately, whenever I was working at a gun shop in Washington, even though I live in Idaho, so I had to have the gun transferred over to Idaho, but with that, because the gun shop was in Washington, I had to order a Washington compliant model. So when I originally got it, it came with these 10 round mags, which you can see the little dimple there keeps it from being a 17 round magazine. So this guy came in originally as a 10 round mag, which part of the reason why it's taken me so long to get some range time with this thing is just the fact that these magazines are not cheap. They're SIG territory or worse. They are about 50, 60 bucks a magazine for the 17 rounders here. So it took me a little while to actually commit and get a couple magazines. So I only have 2 of the 17 round magazines right now. But we had a great time on the range. And now that the weather's nicer and we're getting after it a little bit more, we'll be able to make a lot more videos like this. Another thing that helps me make videos like this, though, Dockio, our sponsor for today. Dockio is an awesome platform I've been using for the last couple of weeks. So what this thing does is it basically compiles all of your different files from all the different places in your computer, whether it be Google, OneDrive, Gmail, you name it. Compiles all of these things together into one easy place to find, basically making a searchable database for all of your files, no matter where they're stored. Now the cool thing is it respects your permissions and your privacy on there, so it only allows you to see what you want it to see. The cool thing is it uses smart AI to be able to recognize what your documents are and sort them into applicable categories. It's not just smart enough to differentiate between these are my videos, these are my photos, these are my overlays for videos and such, but it even goes into things like PDFs and being able to tell if it's a resume, a bill, a job application, whatever, and it can sort it all into the applicable categories. You can set your own categories or let it choose for you. It's a really awesome app that I think you should try today. If you are anywhere in college, a professional workforce, or another YouTuber like me, this can help you immensely be able to go through all the scattered files that you have and put them all together into one easy spot. This is the tool for you. It helps you find all of these things and organize them. So stop wasting unnecessary time trying to dig through all your files or having to redo work that you know you did. Try Dockio today. Try Dockio/mid-tier thoughts. Link in description and type in keyword mid-tier thoughts whenever you do to get your free first month and try this out. Trust me, your future self will thank you for how organized you're gonna be. So back to the high power, right? So if you're not familiar, this thing is legendary. If you're not familiar with this thing and you're a gun guy, you're living under a rock. So basically kind of the history behind this was John Moses Browning develops this semi-automatic 9mm pistol. I think, I could be wrong, gun historians out there, I know, could go correct me in the comments, but I believe the original thing was the French were looking for a military pistol that was originally the P35. And again, I'm not forgotten weapons, so I'm gonna screw some of this up. And that was basically what birthed kind of the Browning high power. A lot of European countries adopted this, basically the entire British Commonwealth. A lot of European countries, I think the French had a version of it, the Belgians. I know that when the Germans, whenever they conquered that part of the world in World War II, they had a bunch of it. You'll see a bunch of pictures of Germans rolling around with these, and you'll see pictures of the Canadian military, the British military, even the Aussies. They used these well until recently, within like the early 2000s, before I believe they replaced them with like Glocks, P320s, things like that. So they are very battle-worn guns. The original ones look very similar. If you're smart enough and you can visualize it, they are a little bit different than this guy. But they had 13-round magazines for the most part, I believe. Again, chambered in 9mm, but this one is the newer iteration. They kind of took that design, redesigned it, made it a little bit more modern. The takedown's a lot easier as well. Basically, if you've ever taken down a 92, a Beretta 92 or 92X, anything in that family, it's almost identical in the way it takes down. Very, very similar process. With this, we finally got some magazines that are worth it, and went out to the range and had a great time shooting this thing. So me and my buddy Mike, we ran a few courses with it, tried a few drills with it, and we're going to play that footage for you here in just a second.
FN high power, the 2022 model.
Yeah, be very clear, 2022. One 7.3.
173.
That's not bad for sweeping it. 138.
138. We're getting there. Okay.
143.
All right.
So yeah, guys, this thing, it's well worth the money. It's a little on the spinnier side, I will give you that. I will say with this, coming with no rail, coming with no night sights, it does have just bare iron sights. I know there's aftermarket stuff out there. It's a little tricky trying to see if it's the same for the 2022 or for some other standard high powers. I still have to look into that a little bit. I decided that if I can make enough money at this video or make enough money on YouTube, that I will get this milled out for a red dot. I will slap on a flashlight on there because this thing is a rad shooting pistol. I will probably buy a lot more magazines with this, which also one thing we discovered, which I really wish we'd have covered in the film, but we didn't actually wind up filming it, unfortunately. Just like the old video where the guy takes a 320 bag, slaps it in his Glock and sees if it works, and it does, you can make 92X magazines work in this gun. You do have to hold down the magazine release and cup them from the bottom, but they will work, they will feed, at least for the couple rounds that we tried. So that was kind of cool to see that. But with that, guys, thank you so much for joining us again on another Mid-Tier Thoughts video. Again, this was a down and dirty. We're probably going to show more stuff on this in the future, but the FN High Power is by far my favorite pistol so far this year. Just the single action trigger on here, super smooth. The sights were lined up super easy. I was making shots on steel at around, I think we're about 30 to 35 yards or so, no problem with this all day long. This thing is fantastic. I love this gun. This is probably my favorite fun gun so far. As far as like a duty weapon, I think if it had night sights at least, or preferably the ability to mount a light to it, I think I would definitely start carrying this a lot more in my Minuteman rigs. But until then, this is just a fun, sweet gun. I might actually, come summertime, start doing USPSA. I've been kind of floating the idea about it. And with that, I want to get a few more magazines, kind of run this in a limited class and see how I do. With that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to check out the link tree down below, as well as the descriptions mentioned in the ad break earlier. Every little bit of that helps out the channel, helps us grow, helps us be able to get more ammunition, more firearms, more gear for us to test out, so you don't have to. So with that, guys, have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one.